Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Pandora, Google Play, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what is going on at the Greensboro City government and beyond. I'm your host, Rodney Dawson, and with me, as always, I like for it to be always,
I try.
is the immeasurable Rosemary Plowman.
I'm so glad to be here. All right, let's think back about like when you were thinking about getting into your first job. Well, and actually, any job, so many of us now, maybe our parents and grandparents had one job all their lives, right? They started it when they were, right out of school, 18, maybe right out of college, 20 something, and then did it for 50 years. But that's not life now.
Right.
People do, change jobs several times. You find new opportunities. There's always there are new things that you just might want to try. And you want to find, of course, something with really good benefits, something that's rewarding,
Absolutely.
something that maybe you feel like you're doing something for others, that you're making a difference in the community, that is rewarding for yourself. So how about, or have you ever thought about working with the police department?
I actually have.
Yeah, I know you have.
yeah.
I know.
Eons ago.
Yeah. And the radio station called you first,
Yeah,
right?
it was, I applied for both. It was a High Point Police Department, actually, and yeah, I'm sorry. And 97.1 QMG, and they called me back first.
I mean, sometimes that's what happens. But if you ever think about a career change, we don't want you going anywhere. But the Greensboro Police Department might have just the fit for you. Officer T.D. Harris and Officer Bird here today with us. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Glad to have you. Okay, so tell us each of you about your road to getting into the force. How did that happen?
So now for me, I spent over 8 years active duty in the Navy, and I knew when I get out, I wanted to be a police officer. I could have done 20 years, but I couldn't wait. I just want to be a police officer.
Wow.
Not always, but...
You didn't think about being an MP? Switching over?
Well, I did an MP job, actually.
Okay.
I deployed with the Army, 43rd and 42nd MP Brigade.
Okay.
That's how I got my...
A taste for it,
Yeah,
yeah.
a taste for it. I'm like, okay, I really want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Even though my job was to transport detainees from one place to another, but I get to see how during the interrogation interview, I'm like, man, I want to be that guy. I want to figure out what happened. This is really cool. I want to do it.
A problem solver.
Right. I want to be a problem solver. It's like a puzzle to me. And I think that's my way to help people, is to figure out what happened. It's all about the victims to me. So here I am.
I love it. What about you?
So funny story is I never wanted to be a police officer growing up.
Okay.
Me in particular, I was working in retail for approximately 8 years, and I had no balance of life. I had just had a family, just got married, and I asked God one day. I said, "Lord, I want to do a job where I can use every gift and talent you've given me in one setting." And He told me policing. So,
Wow.
Funny story is that I'm working in a retail shop one day. A gentleman walks in the store. He's so happy. He's ecstatically happy. When he walks in, I'm like, "Hey, sir, how you doing?" When you're retail, everybody's coming in. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" So we go through the whole rundown, the greeting rundown. After that, I'm like, "Why are you so happy?" And it's Monday morning. And then he's like, "I just left the best career of my life." And in that, I said, "What made it the best career of your life?" And he started naming out things that I wanted in a career. And I told him, my perspective of where the situation that I was in currently and what I was looking for. And he started naming things that I wanted in a job. And he took out his phone while I was in the store, actually working over at the Four Seasons Mall. And he called Human Resources at the Sheriff Department. And he knew someone there. And I started working as a detention officer. And I did that for a year. And then from that, I fell in love with the career of law enforcement, everything that it entails. And here I am, 8 years later, been with the Greensboro Police Department.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a great story.
It is indeed. So, Officer Harris, T.D. Harris, and Officer Bird, let me ask you this. When you first consider this field, I'm sure spouses and moms and why are you doing this? And even
Right.
some fathers, too. You're going to put yourself in danger. So we know you're prepared for that aspect, or you consider that aspect. But what has been a pleasant surprise in your career that you found working for the Greensboro Police Department?
Pleasant surprise is a good thing, or?
Yeah, it's a good thing. Right.
Well, now, that 4 on 4 off, I could never imagine any job like it, right? You show up for 4 days, you work hard, and then you got 4 days off straight.
Mm.
So that's a surprise to me. I'm like, okay. So I always thought, like, okay, everything is Monday through Friday, and you only off Saturday and Sunday. But that 4 on, 4 off really is beautiful.
Does it switch up? Is it the same 4 days all the time, or does it switch?
All the time.
Okay.
So you would have like, I used to work from 4 p.m. to 3 a.m. And that's my shift for 4 days straight, all 4 days straight. And that 4 days straight off, I can go to Gatlinburg. I can go anywhere without even touching my my holidays or my vacation. It's beautiful. I love it.
What about you, Officer Harris?
Man, I would have to first say that is the best thing about working here at Greensboro Police is the balance of life. In retail, I was a store manager of the store, and when you're off, you're really not. Because if something go wrong with the store, you gotta call, you gotta come in, anything happen, you gotta be there. So you was off, but you had that stress behind you. But here at Greensboro, when you off, you are off. And then I'll say, pleasant surprise is the fitness incentive program we have with the police department.
Oh yeah.
Where they actually pay us an hour a day. If we come in an hour before shift or stay an hour after shift, they pay you to do that. So you
to work out?
Your day off, yes, a month to work out. So that's one of the surprises.
And I've been working out for free.
Did you have any? I mean, both of you said you seemed like you were ready. I mean, but I know, Officer Harris, you said to start, this is definitely something you didn't want to do. So kind of what were some of your reservations going into or your worries about it?
Okay. So my mother, right?
Yeah.
She did not want me to be a police officer or in the military, anything like that, to risk my life. But
I get that.
That's in my heart to do this. And I'm hard-headed. So I made my decision. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do what make me happy. What make me happy to be out here, helping people.
And how is she now?
She had to deal with it. But she's proud.
She's proud. Well, yeah, I know. Of course she is. Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to say the same thing. I was a newlywed. I was not only a newlywed, I was a I said newly. That's not the right word terminology, but I was a new father.
Yeah.
As well. And I just had my daughter. So my wife had extreme reservations.
Yeah.
When I was coming on, it was a lot of the police were looked at it as a bad light as well in the media. So you had that for my family, and then you also had the fear for my wife of my safety. Yeah, but I thank God that even through this time, she's come along, and everything's been wonderful.
Yeah. So the worry doesn't go away, but the pride grows. I mean, your mom still worries about you, your wife still worries about you, but they're proud of what you're doing, and they know that it's where your heart is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Are you constantly keeping in communication with them or other family members to let them know you're safe while you're out on the road?
Absolutely. I let my wife know. It's like, hey, look, I'm on my way home. I'm good. It was a good shift. So always in communication. Every time I get a chance on lunch break, I'm like, hey, baby, I love you.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
I talk to my wife more than my mom, but mom will be a weekly thing, or every 2-3 days. I'll let her know, hey, I'm doing good.
Okay. Officer Bird, you've been in 5 years.
Yes, sir.
And total law enforcement about 9 for you, Officer Harris. So you've seen the lay of the land to a great degree. So what have you seen from officers that are candidates that didn't make it? That if you had to tell someone that was looking to join the force, what type of characteristics or what type of skill set should they possess so they can thrive in this position?
Now, I think the most important thing in our job and our career is to have the people skill, right? Be able to bridge the connection, and that's the main thing. Other than that, basically you have to be honest, have integrity, but people skill would take you a long way because you'll be able to talk to people and understand any unique situation that they're in so you can fix it, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and also, me and Officer Bird started recruiting. We're new at this recruiting thing. The recruitment team at Greensboro Police is only 6 months in, so it's just started. So one of the things that we have noticed during this time is that people don't think policing and other jobs are different when it comes to the background check, getting your information in a timely manner, presenting yourself when you come to your interview professionally. I think there is a gap between, they think it's similar to you just hiring or you just fill out an application, to where you're actually selling yourself on everything that you do. you're selling yourself.
So it's still good to show up in a shirt and tie?
It's still good to show up in a shirt and tie. And it's
Okay.
still good to have your stuff in by the deadlines.
Mhm.
Definitely is.
It makes a difference, yeah. What is a typical day like for the two of you? What is a tip for any Greensboro police officer?
Well, police officer, well, it's different levels.
Mhm.
As here in Greensboro, I've been a patrolman, I've been a training coach, I've been on CRT, and now recruiting. I'll talk from patrol perspective.
Is that where someone would typically start?
They will start.
Okay.
So when you on patrol, if you think of it, back in the day they used to call it the beat.
Mhm.
So you have your beat. So what you do when you get out, you'll have a zone or a beat that's your neighborhood, to where if any calls come out, you're the first officers that get that call. You'll begin to learn your neighborhood, your trouble areas, your stores, and different people. So you'll come in, you go to lineup on day 1 and day 3. You'll go to lineup just like a meeting. You have a meeting, what's been going on in the city, what kind of issues we're having. So I just say, all right, be safe. You get in your car, you'll do your checks, make sure your car is straight. Then you'll get out and you'll ride around. You can enforce laws. If you see any laws that's been broken, you can do traffic stops. You can visit your community, different areas. Then you'll receive calls of different things going on in the city.
Yeah, and they could be health related calls. They could be. I mean, it runs the gamut, right? It's not just crimes happening.
That's true.
Yeah.
During my time with the Greensboro History Museum for an exhibit, I interviewed former chief of police James, and he told me that was his fondest memory was his beat time, and that's what just drove him. He created the program that propelled him through his career. We're here in Greensboro.
Yeah.
Okay, and so let's talk money real quick. What kind of benefits? You were talking when you were on FYI, and I almost put in an application.
I mean, the days off. You mentioned that. So
Yeah,
the
the
4
days
on,
off.
4 off is a great benefit right there.
Well, as a new recruit.
Yes. So our academy starting pay is $55,000. Okay, it's almost 7 months really. You're gonna learn from constitutional laws, how to drive, firearms, different areas, topics that you will learn on how to be a basic police officer. Okay, that's 55,000. We full benefit. Okay, you're considered a city employee
While you're in the academy.
While you're
Right,
training.
Yes,
Mhm.
and after that, right, once you're sworn, you finish your academy, you take your state exam, we'll bump your pay up to $57,000. But now on top of that, if you're assigned to a night shift, once you're finished your field training, which is 14 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, 14 weeks after field training, then if you work night shift, we're gonna give you additional $3,600 a year. So now you think about it, as a rookie starting over $60,000. That's not
Mhm.
bad.
Mm-mm,
That's really
not at
good,
all.
and we're really competitive in North Carolina as far as one of the most highest paid police department. Now on top of that, we're looking at foreign language pay, $2,500. Okay, if you can speak, let's say Spanish, Swahili, and you name it, we'll pay you. You have to take the test. Sign on bonus, about $2,700 when you sign on.
Mhm.
Okay, and
College degree.
right, college degree. So now if you have an associate degree, that's $2,500 extra. Bachelor degree, $5,000. Okay, if you're a military veteran, $2,500. So you're looking at a pretty good
Yeah, it
bonuses
keeps
this
bumping
coming.
up with all
Yeah,
your
right,
extra
right.
skills. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that's why I was checking off those boxes. But these knees won't let me do it anymore.
Okay. So, all right. So, talk about when the next recruiting class, like how if people are listening and they're ready to kind of take the step, how does that happen? When does that happen? How do you get started?
So now, to get started, okay, you can visit gpdcareers.com, and we will show you, you have all the videos about, what you're expected, to what, how to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the first part is when you sign up, we're gonna send you a bunch of paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork, but it's not that hard. Okay, we're gonna schedule you for testing date. We use Denny Nelson as a reading comprehension and vocabulary. Once you pass that, you do POPAT. POPAT stands for Police Officer Ability Test. Basically obstacle courses, and after that we do a background check, credit check, polygraph, and you're gonna go through to If you pass all that, you're going to go through to a selection committee, and then you're prepared for the next academy if you're hired, which is in September.
Okay.
We are hiring for 117 academies starting in September of 2024.
Okay.
And we do have our own academy, so I just want to let you know, like
you're not going somewhere else.
Right,
you're getting trained by local folks. So.
Right, because most agencies will send their people to BLET program at a community college, but we have our own training facility on Church Street.
So you're learning from the people you're going to be working with, and so that's the cool thing.
Really quick, I got a question that I didn't send in advance, but talk about lateral police officers.
Oh, yes.
Really, really good. Okay, so the lateral entry program that we have gives officers who actually have experience at other agencies the opportunity to come in. Now, we actually pay you based off of your experience. I'll give an example. If someone who has 7+ or 6 years of experience, you'll come in making around $67,000, and then also that's added on to if you have all of these other incentives Bert just mentioned, like your college degree or associate's degree. So you can make really, really good money, and you can continue your career here, your retirement and everything.
Okay.
All right, before we let you go, if you just sum it up, just favorite thing about being a police officer.
You want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. So I mentioned before, I got in this line of work to be a problem solver. I get to know my community, okay, and I'm there first, and I'm able to come up with a solution, right, the best I can, and help the community. And everything, every problem is unique. It's never really the same, and that's fun to me. Just get to fix the problem and help those in need. It could be it doesn't have to be criminals. It could be mental health, okay, etc.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'll say mine's a combination of things. Like I spoke about physical fitness, 4 on, 4 off. Also, being able to be a part of a team, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
I played sports coming up, and so that was big in my life, instrumental. Being able to do that here, and then also the movement opportunities in Greensboro. There's so many different special teams other than patrol that you can do. I think that's my favorite thing, because 2 years you can do one assignment, then you can say, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do X, Y, Z, and able to do that. So it's my favorite thing.
Love it.
Good
So
news.
variety. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
All right. So if you want to learn more about GPD, the hiring process, get started. If you're ready to get started, gpdcareers.com is the place to go. It's the next class starts in September. You can be ready now. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank
Really
you so
appreciate
much.
it. Really appreciate it.
Thank you all, and stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Pandora, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud. That's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Talk City.
Hey, if you like what you hear, please share it with a friend. And don't forget to watch GTN. That's your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN is available on Spectrum Channel 13,
AT&T, UVerse Channel 99, and Lumos 31.
GTN also streams live on Roku and the city website at greensboro-nc.gov.